But if a person was mechavein, and by the way, I'm going to teach you a chiddush now. It's not mentioned here. If a person has kavana that when they go to work, I'm working so that I could have parnasa, so that Shabbos I could learn, and Sunday I could learn, and Monday, Memorial Day I could learn, and in Hashem when I retire I could learn, then all the work is nachshav k'mitzvah. So you ask, well, what if I forgot to think that? So I'm going to tell you a very important chiddush I heard from Victor Miller. You could have retroactive kavana. Retroactive kavana. Where do we learn that from? Shikha. Shikha is a mitzvah that you can't do it at the time, because you don't even realize you forgot it. But then when you wake up and say, hey, I forgot something, then you have in mind, you know what? Baruch Hashem, I forgot it. It should be for a mitzvah. It's called retroactive kavanah. In other words, when you drop the stalk, when you drop the bundle, you're not even aware you dropped it. If you're aware, it wouldn't be shikha. In other words, if you see it fall, it's only when you forgot it. So the mitzvah of shikha teaches you can have retroactive kavanah. So he would say that when you say in Birchas Hamazon and you thank Hashem, B'al brischa shechasamta b'vsarenu, you thank Hashem for bris milah. Hey, wait a second. When you had the bris milah, you were kicking and screaming. You were screaming so loud, the moil had to plug your mouth with that pacifier, and then he put alcohol down your throat, and right? You didn't want to have it. Don't tell me you wanted to have the milah. You didn't want to have it. But afterwards, after the pain is gone, and you say V'al brischa shechasamta b'vsarenu, you have retroactive kavana. Hashem, I'm very happy to have the bris milah. So too.
Why is shikha considered a mitzvah? Why is the action of shikha considered?
Basically, the mitzvah is to let it be. Let it be. You forgot it.
Don't go back and get it.
Don't go back.
Don't be a chazer and go back.
Don't go back for it. You dropped it. Don't go back for it. Right. That. Okay.
So you're saying the mitzvah is more than not going back.
That's right.
Than the having dropped it. True, but the way Rav Miller would view it is that you're being rewarded for your retroactive kavana. So
the Shem really wants the mitzvah. The goof is kicking it.
Right. So Mamela says the Chavetz Chaim, the meaning of the pasuk B'chol dorachecha do'ehu v'hu yashar archosecha is if a person is mechavein in all of the work that he does, that it should enable a person to do mitzvahs, he will be rewarded even for his work. But there's one condition. Yeah, you work for 40 years, 50 years. Are you learning on Shabbos? Are you learning on a legal holiday? Are you learning when you retire? So if you are, so then Rebbe Shem says, Taka, this guy, he was mechavein, that all of his work was in order to be able to learn. So then Rebbe Shem says, you know what? Your kavanah was genuine and honest. But what about a guy, the whole week he say, yeah, I'm going to work to be able to learn. Come Shabbos. Shlifta abegel, they say. He's sleeping 12 hours Friday night and 4.5 hours Shabbos day. And he catches the last 30 seconds of the rabbi's shiur, and then as soon as Pirkei Avos starts, he has to go to the early Marav. So he learns a total of 45 seconds the whole Shabbos. Mamash Tzaddik Gomor. So how could this guy have legitimately say that he's working in order to learn? And then Sunday comes, he's off the whole day, so he davens 9 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock already, the wife is calling, so he can't learn. And then the whole day goes on. Till 11 o'clock, he's getting the meat for the barbecue, and then 1 o'clock is Shoin NFL. 2 games, 1 to 4, 4 to 7, and then you need hachanos for Sunday night. So the whole day goes by, and then Monday night already. So what's going to be? And then the finals and the Stanley Cup, it's non-stop. The whole day is 72 hours go by, not mamish, one vert. This guy is working in order to learn. But that's only if time remains to learn. Shabbos or Shabbos comes, he's not working, then he takes advantage. He runs to learn. He makes sure Friday night, maybe a little bit at the Suda, a little bit before he goes to sleep, maybe he gets up a little bit Shabbos day, he makes sure, he has a nice meal, but Ad Kan Techum Shabbos, how much could you talk at the meal for? I mean, how many desserts can you eat? You take a nice nap, you wake up, and you make sure to learn. But loiches, so then his working is to learn. But if during his leisure time he depletes it with nonsense, then it comes out, listen to this, not only is he mevatel from Torah, In other words, Shabbos is a critical day in a person's life. Because if when Shabbos comes, the person doesn't utilize it, the Yibam Shalom says, not only you're mevato Torah on Shabbos, I'm going to consider it bittul Torah all 6 days of the week. Because you don't tell me that if you would have had time, you'd have been learning. I see what you would have been doing. If Shabbos is peanuts, pistachio nuts, chocolate-covered nuts, chocolate-covered this, chocolate-covered this, then Hashem's going to say, I'm giving you 7 days of chocolate-covered peanuts and not one word of learning. Don't you tell me that all your work is to be able to do Avodas Hashem.
What would you say if he tells you this fellow who takes this very long nap on Shabbos and doesn't have...
I'm all for naps. I like it, yeah. What?
And he says, listen, Hashem put me in a situation where I work 12 hours a day to be able to support the family and pay these yeshiva tuitions. I'm so zot. I can't sleep during the week because I got so much on my mind. Shabbos is the only time I have time for to have a little menucha. Is that am I doing something that's a problem? Hashem put me in the matzav that I work so hard.
He works so hard, so you know what? He can tell his wife, you know what, when I come home, we're going to do Shalom Aleichem, Eishes Chai right away. We're going to sing 2 Zmiros. I'm going to say the Dvar Torah. The meal we'll give an hour and a half. I'll learn 20 minutes Friday night. And I'll make sure I don't need to go to the Kiddush and Shul. I'll come home right away. I'll have my Suda, have a nice nap. But there's always time. There's always time. So here's the Chiddush. The Chiddush is that if a person doesn't use their leisure time, then they're going to be held accountable not only for the leisure time, but even for the work time. Because work is a wonderful thing if it's for the right purpose. And the Ribbon Shalom will see from how a person uses their leisure time, how they're going to, how Hashem's going to consider the time he worked. Oh, I was going to say, who mafsid kol puloisav shel kol yomois hashavua. He loses out on the whole week.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What about the person about going to chesed? It's not about learning. It's time you do a lot of tzedakah. When you work, you want to work. When you have money for tzedakah, chesed. It's not everyone to learn. Some people are doers. You know, they do chesed.
Chesed is.
Chesed
is wonderful. Tzedakah is wonderful. It's very good. It's not as important as learning.
Of course not. But you see,
everybody can learn. So open up a Chumash. Oh, you mean he's only working so then all his free time?
He has to work to support the family, but the extra way, you have to be allowed to do it, you have to be supported.
Everybody has to give tzedakah k'fi yechaltai, but also everybody has to be kovei itim k'fi yechaltai. Person, even if somebody is not able to learn k'tzoy sachosh and shev shmaitza, you can open up a Chumash, you can open up a Navi, you can open up a Mishnah, you can open up Pirkei Avos. There are many things that anybody could learn, especially nowadays.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.